Welcome back to the channel, Submission Sensei Radio, Episode 3. Today I'm joined by our guest, Ian Macdonald. He's the CEO and founder of Launchbox AI, a set of tools that can really help out aspiring AI entrepreneurs. I actually met Ian when I was in treatment in Boulder, Colorado. He was a tech who had a major impact on my early recovery. He's a real inspiration then, and he's up to some really cool stuff. Ian, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm happy to be here with you, man. It's
Cool.
been it's been a long time since we talked.
It's
It's
been a
been
long time
up
since we
for like
talked.
10
Absolutely.
years or something. Maybe not that long,
Yeah,
but
you visited DC like I don't know, 5, 6 years ago maybe.
no, it was like 8 years
That
ago.
was like 8 years ago. Yeah,
Maybe more. Man, that was
we're
crazy.
we're old. All right, bro. So
Yeah,
let's get right into it. Can you just talk us a little bit about like where we met, where you were at in life at that point, and like what you've been up to since?
sure. So, like you said, when we met, I was maybe 22 or 23 working at a treatment center in Colorado called The Lookout. And you were a client, I was an overnight tech. So me being responsible for making sure nobody escapes essentially.
Oh
And
yeah.
thankfully nobody did throughout my time working there. And I got to meet awesome people like you, who just like myself were in recovery. Um, I had been sober for maybe a year or two at that point and decided I wanted to work in treatment to continue um, like helping other people. And that was my first gig, was the overnight gig at the Lookout, and we met. I remember spending, I don't know, like hours at a time in the living room over there talking with you and getting to know you and being like, this kid is funny, he's cool. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we played some chess, and
Yeah.
there was a phase where I was learning chess, and I think you were helping me out a lot during that time.
Yeah,
Figuring
that's funny, man. Because I've gotten so into chess since since I've been in recovery. But the spark of it was being in rehab, right? Like I'd never played before that, and I always joke with people. It's like there was a point where like that's all I had going for me, dude. It's like I had no job, no car, no girlfriend, family's furious with me. I got no friends, no money, but I am marginally better than these other junkies in the rehab at chess. So I was like, I gotta really lean into this chess thing because it's really all I got at this point.
shoot, yeah, there's these fun things that we get to do that I never knew, like being sober, I would have enjoyed doing. And I mean, chess being one. It's like, okay, drugs or chess. When you're in
Yeah,
active addiction, it's not always the best. You're like, hell yeah, I'm gonna do the drugs.
yeah, it's a no. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's like it's not really fair to the chess, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that
Yeah. So that's how I met you, and then like you said, I got your number, and I was out in DC visiting a friend for their wedding and met up with you to go to Shake Shack, and I thought that was cool. We went to a meeting out there,
yeah, yeah.
and ever since, I mean, we've been on social media and haven't been in touch, but hearing from you the other day was really cool, and knowing that you're doing your startup and that I'm doing my startup, I think I'm now like in this phase where I'm meeting other people in similar phases as me with the startup, and it's nice. It's cool.
Yeah, man, that's cool. And you were when you were out there, you were working in like construction too,
Oh yeah.
something like that. How did that turn out?
Oh well. So I lived in Colorado. I moved there was 19. I was 19, and I just moved back to Florida, where I'm from. And throughout my time in Colorado, I worked at a coffee shop. I got fired from the coffee shop because I couldn't wake up on time. Then I went and worked doing some construction for one of my best friends, and was doing remodeling with his company. And I was doing that overnight gig, and so there was some overlap there when I was doing both. And I worked at that treatment center for like 8 years, and yeah, I got out of the rehab business whenever I transitioned into being an entrepreneur. Essentially, in 2024 was when I made that transition.
Yeah, man. So what there was basically like the AI revolution in like 2023, right? Like GPT-3 drops, and how did you get into how did you get into AI entrepreneurship? Was it just something you were interested in, or was there something that sort of sparked that decision to get into it?
Well, I've been thinking back recently of like when I was a kid, I always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I believe my dad owned his own company, and I think that that inspired me. And from a young age, I wanted to own my own skate shop. Was big into skateboarding,
Sure.
um, and then I was just doing anything that I could to try to like make a buck and be creative.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened. Around that time, I was learning how to program through free code camp and watching YouTube videos. And so I was exploring the option of going to a boot camp myself. Um, but AI was starting to come out around that time, and there was this conversation about, is AI going to take over programming? And I thought it was. And so I held back on going the boot camp route. And as ChatGPT started to come out and more people were starting to figure out ways to make money with it, I was watching videos and I decided that I was just going to give it a shot and see what I could do with AI. If not programming, I wasn't necessarily going to use it for programming initially. I was just trying to figure out how to be a consultant to help businesses learn how to use AI to help their companies. And so that was my initial angle, and that's how I sort of transitioned into it. Was I saw this new frontier with AI in mid 2023, and I had some stuff happen um, with my family that sort of was like, if I'm not gonna take this leap um, now, then when am I ever? And so that's kind of how I transitioned into being an entrepreneur and being interested in AI. I was seeing people on YouTube who were exploring how to make money with it, and they were inspiring to me.
Cool, man. So what was like the first sort of like project? Like what was the first sort of thing you went about trying to build to become an AI entrepreneur?
Sure. So that guy I was working with, like I told you, so 2024, you mentioned I was coming back and forth between Florida and Colorado for some family stuff. I ended up leaving the treatment job, and my roommate, who was my boss years back doing remodeling, um, I was doing my entrepreneur thing, was just building little projects here and there, but he gave me the project of helping to organize his company by creating some sort of centralized space for his employees to write up their daily reports for what they did on a given job. And just essentially, he wanted more organization in his life. When I came home, he had his coffee table full of just junk. And I was like, I could probably help you with that. And so I ended up building an app within Slack, which was, now that I look back, I was like, there's so many easier ways I could have built him something.
Sure, yeah.
And I made it. I made him an app in Slack. All of his employees were able to log in. They could set their timesheet for the day. They could request time off. And then I started exploring even more sort of like AI functionality with image processing, how people could upload receipt photos, and AI could process that and store that for expenses. And so he gave me an opportunity. He didn't pay me a whole lot to do this project, but he gave me the opportunity to kind of explore AI and that cushion that I needed to see what I could do with it.
Cool, man. Yeah. And so, like, when you were tasked with this project, right, and you've been looking into coding, you've been looking into vibe coding, I think it'd be good for like a lot of people. It's like, how do you take step one, right? Like, you know you want to use these AI tools, you know you want to build a product. How do you start getting after it, right? You've got a goal, you've got a target. How do you start using these tools that are so widely available now to anybody to start building that product?
Totally. It's way more accessible now than it was whenever I started in 2024. The way I was doing it was a lot of copy and paste from ChatGPT into the uh, the program that I was using to create these apps. I was using Replit, so it was is very disjointed and clunky. Nowadays, all you have to do is just have a problem. And if
Yeah.
you've ever thought of like, oh, I wish something would work like this, whether there's already a product for it, but it doesn't work for you necessarily how you want it to, you can build a custom version of it just simply by saying, let's say you want to build a chat app. You go into a platform like Lovable, Replit. I use Cursor to program, and there's a chat interface, and you say, build me a messaging app that is colored like this. I want it to act like this. I want to be able to add people. And so you start initially with like the most simple form of whatever that solution is you're trying to build. And then you'll find as you're building it out, you'll have a new idea of like, oh, it would be cool if it could do calls as well, if I could call people from it. And then you just figure it out as you go. Like, you don't have to know how to do it. AI will either completely build it for you or walk you through the parts that will need you to be involved, like maybe getting API key or whatever.
Yeah, no, and it's been I've never coded in my life, right? And our CEO Sid put me on some sort of vibe coding projects, and I was not aware of just how powerful these tools are, right? Like I was in Google anti-gravity, it's like you just tell it what to do, and then it starts telling you what to do, right? Like it's like this interactive feedback loop where
Mhm.
it does a lot of what you say, and then it says, hey, we're hitting this roadblock. I'm going to hold your hand and walk you through, like you said, like download this API key, like we need this plugin from Cocoa Pods or what have you. And it literally becomes this thing where it's like I don't understand. I'm not being like modest, like a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not an engineer, I don't know, like I don't know anything.
Yeah.
And like truly a total newbie, and just with anti-gravity it's been like a really cool process, and like I don't know if people fully understand the extent to which you don't need to know anything to build things. Was that sort of like what was that sort of like revelation like for you, like when you first, because you had a little bit of a coding base, but like all of a sudden these tools pop up and it's like wow, like what is possible for you just opens up tremendously.
Yeah. It's really changed, it seems like in the last, I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 months, where it's just so much more accessible to people. Back
Hmm.
before then, it was still possible, but you need some technical know-how. Um, but now what's changed is I just see people who I know don't have any experience, like older people creating full-fledged apps and websites like that they're getting leads through. They're creating like functional things, and so it's a little bit. I think that there's. I think that there's. How do I say it? I still think that there are different tiers essentially, or different phases. Like,
Sure.
you can build landing pages just fine and easy with AI. You can build like AI capable products, but there is another level of knowledge and understanding that you need whenever you're implementing like a database, um, when you're implementing different roles. So you don't want users to be accessing, secrets that only the admin should see. Um, and so there's that. And when I don't know if the layman will one either be interested in going really past the surface level with app building, or if AI will become so good that, based on a two-sentence prompt, it will infer what you need for that scale of that kind of app. So
Yeah,
there's
that's super interesting too, right? Like just thinking through the next. 5 years, right? Like we're in what feels like a very almost like an in-between stage, right? Like 100 years from now, when you like look at like programming and develop like technology development, it's like there was sort of like pre-AI, right, where people had to manually type out every layer of code, and then there's going to be like an AI era probably, right? I don't have a forecast for exactly when that's going to be, but there's going to be a time likely, right, in the next 10, 20 years in which these tools are robust enough to, with a few sentence prompts, really like infer exactly what you need, exactly what you want, or at least be able to help you troubleshoot and hone in on creating exactly what you're looking for. So it's a really like exciting time. Like how does it sort of feel to be like, I don't know, like on the cutting edge of this transition, of this movement?
Man, I feel really fortunate because I do know I have this um, sense that there's nothing that I can't accomplish, like with AI as a tool. I've been able to yeah, like have a platform, be the sole developer of a platform with 1,500 users on it. And past that, I'm just like, the sky is the limit. Any problem I have, I know that I can solve it. Now, the tools are becoming more and more powerful. I have to do less debugging. I have to do less explaining to to the LLMs about what I mean. So they're definitely getting better at inferring. And now you're starting to see with agents and like sub agents that they can go off and do an incredible amount of stuff. And so my thought is, I wonder, will we move past the UI of like some app, or will it all sort of be some sort of centralized platform that you can do everything in, or that transforms dynamically based on what it is that you're wanting to do? Um, so there's people far more in the know or even more cutting edge than I am. I try to slow my roll as best I can, and there's just a fire hose of information and new stuff that comes out that it can be totally overwhelming, especially for new people who are trying to catch the wave and all they see is like new thing, new thing, new thing every week. I think my tip for that is to just kind of pick one of these platforms, whether it's Cursor, Anti-Gravity, one of these top names that you're hearing about, if you're interested in getting into development, and just stick with one and just sort of go from there. You don't need to hop on the next thing, but sort of finding your niche as you already have it, and applying AI in some way. Um, yeah.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I'm interested to hear your perspective, right? Because there's this sort of like arms race with all of the models, and I'm kind of curious to have an insider's perspective. Do you have like a model you prefer? Do you use Claude for coding and GPT as a therapist and Gemini for image generation, or do you have a preferred model, or is it kind of like a fluid sort of situation?
No, I think it just depends on the given week.
Hmm.
Really, one model is better one week, and then there's a new update and another one. And so, like you said, there are some things I notice one model might be better at than the other. Just currently, how it is I do like Claude more for copy and marketing and sort of sentiment analysis whenever
Hmm.
I'm trying to figure out how to approach like planning. And then ChatGPT is a good just catch-all for for everything else. And then Gemini has been good for programming, in my experience right now.
Yeah, and it's just like even just doing like marketing, right? Like I can't really imagine doing it without these AI tools, right? It just the velocity that it can give you, for crafting like an outreach email or something like that. I type in exactly what I want it to say, and it can sort of instantly generate, five different templates that are all excellent, right? And people have this idea of it's like oh, can it do this better than humans? Like, I don't, I, that's maybe not the best way to look at it for like the, right? Like, could the best copywriter in the world write better copy? Probably, but it's like for a lot of people's purposes, these models can help you do just all manner of things with the velocity that was just totally like otherwise unachievable.
I totally agree. I think you can make a lot of content really quickly. I think for me the challenge is making it feel authentic
Hmm.
in like my voice or something that I would say, or even you can almost see it whenever you're reading it, like
Oh
what
yeah,
looks like AI and what doesn't. Of course, with
yeah,
the M dashes
yeah.
or maybe some other sort of punctuation in there.
Yeah,
My
a
writing is
lot of
not as
contrast. It's like it's not
yeah,
this, it's this, you know. And
yeah,
I'm like, I don't personally know anyone that speaks in that fashion.
no, no, it's too clean.
Yeah,
And I do notice like the social media posts that I make that I'm just writing raw or whatever you want to say.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Just,
they
just
tend to
yeah.
do better.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean,
Yeah,
that's yeah, that's not surprising. But I
yeah,
also think it's like something you can use as like an iterative tool, right? Like it's like it generates like a template for you, and then you take out the things that seem awkward. But it can
yeah,
just very quickly create form and structure and ideas that then your human mind can take and run with, and it's still just dramatically I at least for me personally I find it can dramatically increase your velocity. And yeah, I
absolutely.
feel like there's a lot of people who maybe don't appreciate the extent to which AI can sort of help them, right? Like there's AI hesitancy, and then but then there's also just like AI ignorance, right? Or just like people I don't know if they assume that the model can't help them with this, or they don't know that they can it can help them with it. But there's just so many use cases for these models that can make your like your job in your life easier. Like, how do you think about like educating people or like sort of broadening people's perspective on how AI can help them?
Yeah, I know. I have I have a good friend of mine who is so anti AI,
Hmm.
and he's really smart, and he sees the value and benefit that it could potentially offer him, but he's just like, I don't like that it's not a human doing it. It's taking away from something like classic. And my argument to him is just like, you're such a smart guy. If you only use this as a tool, use it however you want. But being so anti against it, you're discounting all of the good and the benefit that it could add to your life and to other people's lives that you can affect if you hadn't picked up that tool. Like for me, I have helped people create different solutions for their companies that they would have had to pay thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars to create. But it's making things more affordable.
Hmm.
It's making
For sure.
solutions that work for people's brains. I think it's excellent as a form of education because for me, I I learn in a particular way, as do we all, and so I can be taught different things in a way that makes sense for me and my brain. And so just trying to get people to see the perspective of like what they're missing out on and almost, I don't want to, I mean, kind of like harm, I guess, or like opportunities that you're missing out on
Yeah.
because you're not using AI.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah,
yeah,
and just even if it's just like, hey, that thing, what's that thing that you hate doing, right? What's that thing that's tedious, that's time consuming, that you wish could be done in, a fraction of the time, so that it can free up, whatever it is that you think is your sort of high leverage passion or value you bring to your business or your life or whatever. You can just think of it as a tool for doing things that you'd rather not do, right?
absolutely. And I think, like you said earlier, like people don't know where to start. And that's exactly where you should start, is you don't need to know where to begin. You literally just ask, like, here's what I want to do. What do I need to do? That's how you start.
Yeah,
And
man,
then
for
just
sure.
follow that direction.
So like let's get into to your launch box, right? Like, can you just talk a little bit about the business that you're working on that you've created, and what it can sort of offer to people?
Sure. So I'm working on creating a platform that hosts a community, courses, as well as a suite of apps. My problem that I'm trying to solve is a lot of last year I spent developing an app for a company that was teaching people how to make money with AI. And there was a lot of value that people were finding in the app that I had built. Um, and a lot of people also who were being taught different things, but weren't actually making money. There's a lot of people out there like teaching you how to do it and maybe even giving you the steps, but it's there's a wide range of ability of like technical know-how and people's capabilities, and everybody, like I said, is more than capable, but it's often harder than it seems. So I'm working on creating a platform that makes making money easy for people, primarily because it offers a ton of value just with the apps that I'm building into it, like a chat app so you can use different models, an image generation app. You can use different image models. Like currently, we're using Nano Banana Pro as the top, but you can switch between them. And I'm working on creating an all-in-one like app suite so you can one consolidate all of these different subscriptions that you have, um, and then on top of that, like selling it as a white label to get subscribers into it is my business model. So you or whoever who wants to resell Launchbox, build their community in it, sell these apps, teach lessons from the platform, you get to set the price of your subscription, and it's there's a ton of tools as well that I've built in that market and funnel back into your sign up page. So really just trying to be like self-contained ecosystem that it's just like a do it for you kind of thing.
Yeah, and you're talking about value, right? Like you showed me your app and it's got so many tools that would, right? It's a video editor, right? That's going to cost you a couple $100 a year, or in the case of like Adobe Suite, like hundreds of dollars a year, right? You've got access to all of the models. You've got, community apps. You've got a landing page generator, right? You really have like like this incredible suite of just plug and play apps for your business that is would be displacing hundreds, like if not thousands of dollars of subscriptions to
Yeah.
other services, right? What was that sort of like initial idea for that? Like what sparked this sort of inspiration to build like such a robust toolkit?
So like I said, the previous organization I was working with, they kind of had this model where they
Hmm.
had a platform that hosted their community. They had like Google Meet meetings every week where they were teaching some aspect. And then my app that I had built was the third part. And so I wanted to marry all of those into a single platform because there was this, uh, it was clunky. Again, it was just like, I need to remember my login for that one. I need
Hmm.
to remember that. And then my app was proving its value because it consolidated a lot of those subscriptions into one for people. And so I get, I'm ADHD. I have a new idea every day, and
Right.
I wanted to build a platform that I wouldn't get bored in building and that was scalable. So the tool suite makes a lot of sense to me. So anytime I have an idea or something makes sense to add in there that people would find valuable, it's like, well, just make a new app and throw it in there.
Yeah,
And
and that's
yeah,
so cool too, right? Like that's this sort of like work in progress, right? Like you haven't just made a tool and now you're trying to sell it. Like you're creating this ever evolving toolkit that's going to just sort of continuously improve.
yes, yes, it's exciting. And actually, whenever we were talking before, like last week, I was in Foley, Alabama. I'm in Pensacola. I'm doing a hackathon. This is the first one I've done. Um, and through that hackathon, I met a director of a startup incubator in Foley. And my girlfriend had made a post about me on LinkedIn, and he's like, he's like, "Oh, you're Ian. I saw the post that your girlfriend made. Somehow we weren't even connected on there." And I told him about Launchbox that I was creating. It has this course and lesson creator in it. He's like, "Oh, I'm looking for just that." And so I went over and met with him, and we decided to partner together to where he's going to have his incubator courses that he runs taught on Launchbox. So that's a huge opportunity that I'm excited for, as well as just started the reselling program subscription. That's like the model for Launchbox. With within 2 weeks, got 6 subscribed to that with like no marketing. It's all just kind of people watching me build this thing, and there's excitement around it, and I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be really cool to watch it grow this year.
Yeah, I think it's yeah, it's a fantastic concept. Can you tell me a little bit more about these like courses? Like what is the type of thing that someone's sort of going to get access to as a builder on your platform?
Sure. So it's super simple. I actually made a video. I can share it with you later. It's essentially in this video what I did, and for this person in particular, he has a 12-week long course that goes over the fundamentals of writing, producing, and marketing yourself as a musician. And he has a website that just goes over week one, this is what we do, all the way through week 12. I copied that page, I pasted it into this tool, and told it to create 15 slides. And within 5 minutes of it, like processing that copied information, um, it produced 15 slides that were designed, they're interactive, they're beautiful, and all he has to do is hit the publish button, and now his community space in Launchbox gets to see this 15 slide thing. So there's a lot of stuff happening in the background. I'm trying to make things as seamless and simple for the users and the user interface. Um, but there's a lot of prompting and different things that go into making these um, slides look as good as they do and like unique. And like I said, it's cool to have interaction within like a lesson um,
Yeah, for
platform.
sure. Yeah, and I think, you know, combining the tools with also like the know-how of how to implement them, right? I mean, a lot of these tools I'm sure are like very intuitive and easy to use, but it can be kind of intimidating for people that have never opened up a video editing software, never, you know, opened up anti-gravity, never interacted with these tools. And then so to pair those tools with sort of like the courses and like a framework, I think is like a really it's a really cool idea.
Thank you. Yes, I agree. And that's honestly sort of the biggest challenge is being a solo founder and developer and marketing this thing is like I want the user's experience in onboarding and support. And that's a piece too that when people are building apps who have never built them, they forget about or they don't even know is important that you need to have some support for your users
For sure.
and some sort of walkthroughs or something like that. And so the best that I could do right now with the time that I have and what I'm trying to do is I created like an hour and a half long video and
Hmm.
clipped it into different sections. So hopefully that will help with their onboarding process.
Yeah, no, and I think that's so key too, right? Like it's something we talk about with our app all the time is like we look at this all day, right? Like we think about this all day. So when a new feature drops and we're subconsciously opening right up our simulators and going right to the function out like with no thoughts. Yeah, it's hard to put yourself in the shoes of someone who's just opened this, right? So like I showed it to my sister and she was like, it looks good, but like what do I do?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's a problem." Right? Like
Yeah,
that's something that you have to think about and you have to, you know, you know, counter against the this bias you have or these, you know, the fact that you already understand everything about it as you're building
mhm,
it.
absolutely. I I think there's a few different ways I'm planning to do it. One with the videos to start.
Hmm.
Two, I'm gonna do like workshops where I'm actually answering questions for the resellers, and my main focus is gonna be helping to empower them to know how to do the platform so that
Sure.
for their users. they'll have the answers because they will be the like direct line of contact for the end user.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the cool things too is you're making this platform that people can then sort of repurpose for their own communities. Do you have any like cool use cases so far for that, or things people are using your platform for?
So the one that is cool is this innovation, not innovation. It's Hatch out of Foley, Alabama.
Hmm.
So they're going to be hosting. I haven't actually developed this aspect of it yet, but their use case is totally something I can apply to Launchbox. Is creating different groups within it because they host like a health course, they host this music course, they host courses. So for them, they're like an agency sort of model. Whereas initially I was focused on a solo entrepreneur model. But this one is going to be cool. There's going to be like whole different facets that they're going to be teaching through their subscription and various communities that they're building on Launchbox.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Mhm.
Cool. So you
Yeah.
mentioned a little bit about the ADHD thing. Do you feel like I've noticed that one thing with like a lot of people that are like in long-term recovery and have dealt with addiction is that we're like very obsessive, right? Like we have this like we find something that we like and we sort of go all in on it. Can you just talk about like what that's been like for you with like entrepreneurship, or like when was there a moment where you're like, oh, like this for me when I know when I find something, there's kind of like this switch gets flipped a little bit. Like did you have that experience with the AI building?
Yeah. Yeah. I have I don't know if I guess it's an obsession, but it's just it feels like a need. Like I can't not do it. It's all that yeah, it's all that I think about. Not all that I think about, but I'm constantly just like thinking of the next thing to iterate in on one of these platforms. It's fun. It's feels like a video game.
Yeah,
Like you might get stuck on a level and I obsess over like some stupid bug or whatever, and then you get that bug done, and then you move on to the next one, and it's like that now too, not just with the development aspect, but with the business building aspect, where I want to build a model of a business that I feel good about, that I like have integrity about, and um, maybe to the detriment of like different aspects of my life.
oh sure.
I'm not as available as I used to be,
Hmm.
but for me, there's a bigger purpose to it, and like I said, it's like I can't not do it.
Yeah, no, I think that's so well said, right? You just you can't not do something, right? You can't not think about it. You kind of have to see you kind of have to see whatever the project is through.
Yeah, yeah, it's tough because I'm realizing now whenever I have a conversation with somebody and they mention something they have a problem to, my mind just starts spinning, and maybe I end up committing to something that I wasn't hoping to initially. But
Sure.
uh, yeah, that's cool. That's really what I want to empower other people. Is like you don't necessarily need to know the answers. You can just have a hunch and go see, just run with it.
For sure, man. And it's like I do it too sometimes where it's like I'll try to bite off more than I can chew, but I feel like the only way to find out how much you can chew is to sort of lean into that, you know what I mean? Like there's always a million reasons not to do anything. There's a million reasons why doing anything, any given thing is hard or difficult, but you know, you're like why or you're like why not, you know what I mean?
I do, I do know exactly what you mean, and that's been a whole lot of this experience. Is 2 years ago when I started, it was a whole lot of why am I doing this because I wasn't really getting anywhere.
Mhm.
But slowly, I just was committed, and again, like I wasn't gonna just stop. I couldn't. But people saw what I was doing and recognized it, and that validation was huge. And yeah, it's much different now
For
after
sure.
like learning through all of these. There's been so many lessons this last couple of years.
Yeah, and I think you know, having that, you know, we all strive to have like a sort of internal compass, right? But like having some validation is can really be helpful, right? Like you noodle on things, like you have creative ideas, and but you don't really know until you show someone or you put it out into the world and start getting that feedback. And like I know for us, like a big turning point with me for our app was when we went to this tournament in Tennessee, and like I met people and I showed them our app for the first time, and I got that like, oh, is this out? Like, where can I get this? You know, not like not being polite, not like being like, oh yeah, that's cool, man. Like, you know, where do I doubt? Like, is
Yeah.
this ready for me? And I was like, oh yeah, that was a, you know, that was a big change for me, right? Like that was like cool. You see that reaction from people and they're like, this isn't all in my head. Like this is real.
Yes. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. There's so many people that you don't know that you'll meet along the way.
Hmm.
And so many people who it's like you were destined to like be on this journey so that you could meet them or like have whatever experience you needed to. And those are also hugely validating moments where I've even like this, you know, things like this where it's like if I had never taken this chance, I wouldn't have maybe even ever reconnected with you. And
Yeah.
I'm happy that we do and we have. And who knows what comes from this? You know, it's like just take the risk.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And like also something I like to keep in mind is like, you know, if you fail, it's like irrelevant, right? Like that's like the you have the, I don't know, you know, we all have this
Yeah,
like little voice in our head that's afraid of embarrassment or of failure, and like for me, it's always like super important to keep in mind. It's like you make that okay. What if the app sucks? And what if it does suck and no one downloads it and no one cares? Okay, then it was It was just one of countless irrelevant things that have happened in the universe, right? Like there's really, um, you know, if you really think it through, like the cost of failure is not as high as we make it out to be, right? And then the upside of success is you know, could be amazing.
right. And I'd say that failure has been super valuable to me
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, it's how I've learned
Yeah.
everything is like failure or difficulty. Like I've had other ideas for apps that I've put out there that haven't gone anywhere, that have always led me to learning something new. And, you know, here I am with Launchbox. Hopefully it succeeds and does well. Regardless, I'm learning a whole lot through this process that hopefully can build upon Launchbox with it or just take into the next thing.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, I mean, I think Launchbox is you know, it's super promising, man. And like um I just think that that concept of giving people tools and then coupling it with the courses and education they need and giving them the freedom to market it to their communities and use it however they need to use is going to be, yeah, I think it's a great idea and has a ton of promise.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's been one of the hard things too is just like learning how to explain your thing to other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I'm capable now more than I was initially of like, here's what it is, what it does, and
Hmm.
the problem it's solving.
Yeah. No, I mean I have that too. Right? I feel like people in the grappling community get it, but for me it's like, okay, you know UFC, and they're like, yeah, I hate that. I'm like, yeah, no, no doubt. You know the part where they like roll around on the ground? It's like, yeah, I hate that. I'm like, yeah, no doubt. There's a sport to that, and then we do that sport, and we want to help people do that sport better. And like, okay, you know, like we have to sort of like, I don't know, explain to them the context of the space that we're even in.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think that's a super, you know, I think yeah, you've done a really good job of at least explaining it to me. But that definitely is a skill too, to just distill down, you know, what it is that you're building and something that people that don't have any context for can understand.
Yeah. I have a friend who asked, he's just like was grilling me about it, like, why? Why?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I had answers. I was glad that I had answers each time, but I'm like, damn, man, I've explained to you why,
Yeah.
but it was helpful.
No,
Yeah,
for sure. It can be help. It can be, yeah. I'm sure that could be could be a little frustrating, right? Like anytime
yeah,
someone has no idea what they're talking about, but they're like deeply skeptical, it can be a little can be frustrating. But it can also like help clarify too, right? And like it's a good exercise, you know, in how to market your product or how to you know, market yourself.
absolutely. I think too recently for Launchbox, initially I was doing like just trying to get people to join as my end user to
Mm-hmm.
test out the theory if it works um, as a end-to-end subscription. But now I'm really excited to just share with people not just like all the cool stuff it does, but its ability to help you make money and be like a practical way to do that in the age of AI when you're trying to make a buck. Like this platform is attempting to make it as easy as possible to
Yeah.
do that.
And I think it's super useful to like hone in on, right? Like, cause you have all kinds of functionality, right? Like all kinds of features, all kinds of apps, all kinds of ways it could be used. But you need like a tagline. You need to be like, hey, this is, you know, you need something that's gonna like people understand the core of your mission and how it can be useful for them, right? Like so for us, it's like ask a question, get an answer, right? It's like there's this multitude of information and instructional resources that are absolutely fantastic that you know the grappling community has put out. In many cases, you know, some of it's paywall, but a lot of it's free, but it's very hard to sift through. And we're like, hey, you ask it a question and we're going to give you text and we're going to give you a video that directly addresses the problem that you're facing on the mats, right? And like just being able to clearly articulate that. And then there's like you know, there's all kinds of other cool things and features that we're doing, but like if we just start rambling on about all the cool things that we can do, you can kind of miss the forest for the trees a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what I need in my life is like simplification of
Mm-hmm.
because there's so much information nowadays, so many people telling you this is the best or that's the best, and you just don't necessarily know who to trust.
Yeah,
Or yeah, you want the best, and um, yeah, it's sounds like a good solution to that problem of consolidating and getting a simple, straightforward answer.
yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, and that's like yeah, it's just key to that you communicate what you're doing to people.
Mhm.
Cool. All right,
Yeah,
man.
man.
It's been a fantastic conversation, Ian. Where can people find you, man? Like where can they check out your stuff?
Oh, sure. So I'm on Facebook a lot. I'm a
Yeah,
Facebook guy. You
yeah,
can find me on Facebook. Um, Ian, I'm sure you can like overlay some stuff. But on
yeah, yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, I'm on YouTube and TikTok, and then also on Launchbox. Launchbox.space is the URL for that platform if you want to check it out.
Yeah, for sure, man. We'll link all that stuff in the description as well as link to the App Store for Submission Sensei. It's out now. You guys can download it, play around, check it out. Ian, thank you so much again for being on the pod, dude. We really appreciate you taking the time, sticking with me through the technical difficulties, and getting this whole thing set up.
Yeah, man. Thank you for asking me to come and talk to you. It's been a pleasure, and I'm excited to hopefully we can do this again soon.
Cool.